Thanks, David. Morning, afternoon to everyone, and hello to any Maximus shareholders that are online. It's always great to have the opportunity to talk about Maximus Resources. We're relatively under the radar stock, fantastic upside, and I like starting with this image. This image is of our Wattle Dam gold mine. It was mined over a very short 6-year period up until 2012 by Maximus Resources. And in today's gold market, recovered over $900 million worth of gold. And it's a great example of the reason why we're all here today, because of the enormous wealth that can be created when we make one of these high-grade discoveries. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So Maximus's granted mining tenements were situated 25 kilometres from Kambolda, sitting in world-class geology. This region between Widgiemootha and Kambolda produced over 15 million ounces of gold, 1.4 million tonnes of nickel metal, making it very globally significant gold and nickel belt. And now this region is becoming a very significant hard rock lithium region, with our tenements wedged between Mineral Resources' Mount Marion project and the Pioneer Dome. So at the end of the quarter, March quarter, we had 1.5 million in cash, and we're just completing the fully underwritten entitlement offer for shareholders, which will roughly give us around 4.2 million in cash after costs. And this will fund our next programs, purely focused on gold. And we also have access to 4.5 million in Australian dollars to fund our lithium projects through a lithium joint venture with Kemia. Next slide, please. So Maximus, we're in a great position, having a robust 335,000 ounces. The image on the right shows a different gold resources across our mining tenements. Our focus is not to stop at this 335,000 ounces, but to grow to 500,000 ounces and beyond. And we're comfortable in achieving this, and as demonstrated by a 300% increase in our resources over 2 years. Our gold projects are centred around Wattle Dam Gold Project. There's existing infrastructure and a series of shallow gold resources. And in the background, we've been working through some near-term production opportunities. Gold price near record highs, makes toll treating very attractive to protect shareholders' value and to fund future growth. And as Headley mentioned before, gives optionality, to start small and to grow up our resources and future larger production. So, and you can see on the image on the right, there's some very clearly defined mineralised trends, which, along with the advancements in our geological understanding, we've been able to better assist with our better targeting to grow our gold resources. Next slide, please. So the company has 117 square kilometres of granted mining tenements. This is becoming more critical in Western Australia. So from the top to the bottom of our gold rights is over 30 kilometres in length. We have the national highway that connects Perth with the eastern states, running right through our mining tenements. And we've got multiple toll treating options on our doorstep. The image on the right is the golden soils, and this is the first time a collection of database has been compiled, and it highlights a real large mineralised trends with numerous walk-up targets to highlight the fertility of this region. Just recently, while undertaking some field mapping, we collected some very large grab samples, and with several above 2 grams and one 3.5 kilogram rock having over 9.8 grams per tonne. So it shows the opportunities there. And it's amazing to say, but given this location, some of our southern tenements, such as where these grab samples were taken, have not seen any gold exploration since 1996. And so that is when gold was at US $380 an ounce. So we've got fantastic location and fantastic geology, and very underexplored given our location. Next slide, please. So zooming into our flagship Wattle Dam Gold Project, where August last year, we were really pleased to announce a 250% increase in gold resources. The MRE update, what really wanted to confirm is our long-held belief that we're sitting on a very large mineralised system, and this creates a base load for gold resources for future production and shows a significant exploration upside remains. Next slide, please. I like showing this image. It really shows the extent of the mineralisation across this Wattle Dam Gold Project, and it's only limited by drilling, with all the lodes open at depth. And you can clearly see a regular repetition of gold mineralisation. From left to right is 2.2 kilometres in length. On the right-hand side of the image sits the 8500 North, which is our focus for upcoming drill programs. And you can note that there is a lot of shallow gold resources. And as Hadley was talking about before, it gives you the optionality to start in small, toll treating small parcels, and then be able to fund larger projects and access larger projects and cutbacks further deeper. Also to note that in this image is the mineralisation, which is at depth, and it sits outside the current mineralised resource envelope. So during a previous drill program, which was co-funded by the West Australian Government, we were able to demonstrate the continuity of the redback lode down to 500 metres below depth. So we intersected 11 metres at 3.2 grams and 2.5 at 6 grams. It really shows the continuity when we're on these orogenic gold systems, that these things remain open at depth. Next slide, please. So this image puts in the perspective of the Wattle Dam Gold Project. As mentioned, we're only top to bottom of this image is only 2.2 kilometres, and it sits in the centre of our 30 kilometres of our tenement strikes. And so for comparison, Astral Resources, 1.25 million ounce Mandilla project sits 2 kilometres to the east, showing very similar strike length. Astral Resources are sitting at currently at $80 per ounce EV. We're sitting just under $27 an ounce. Next slide, please. So the real prize for the company and shareholders is to find the repetition of the high-grade Wattle Dam Gold Project. And as mentioned at the start, it was one of Australia's highest-grade gold mines. Underground was 15 grams tonne. And it's been our recent theory that the main lode was terminated by an east-dipping shear zone, giving the potential for mineralisation to be structurally offset on the western side of the shear zone. So to test this theory, we drilled 3 deeper holes on the western side of the shear zone, and this area was previously untested. All the previous drilling was focused on the eastern side of the shear zone. So the success for the drilling for us was really the validation that the geology on the western side of the shear zone, proving that there's been structural offset identical to that seen within the Wattle Dam high-grade lode, and proving that there's been a structural offset. Next slide, please. So this is just another view of the targeted area, noting that we're looking for a 40 to 80 metre long ore body over quite a large area. So to our advantage, the mineralisation within the Wattle Dam high-grade lode has a very distinct geochemical halo, and that assists us in the effective drill targeting. So encouraging the highest levels of observed alteration and broad gold mineralisation was our most northern hole, pointing that this structural offset, lateral offset is a little bit larger than initially considered. And so this is quite exciting front for the company, and with completing this entitlement offer, it really funds us to go and start this next round of drilling. So, Wattle Dam was a very small deposit, produced over $900 million worth of gold. And if we can prove this theory correct and show that the high-grade lode has been structurally offset, it's a real game changer for us in the company. And we really look forward to start drilling very shortly with this at Wattle Dam. Next slide, please. So I know that we're gold focused, but I can't not talk about a pretty exciting front for the company. So Maximus's multi-commodity portfolio includes 2 advanced lithium projects. We're in one of the most prospective hard rock lithium regions in the world. And this image shows the joint ventures held by Mineral Resources encompassing our project. We've really been in the box seat of recent corporate activities in this region. Next slide, please. So in October last year, we announced a strategic partnership with the South Korean government mining agency, Khmer, to earn 30% of our project, funding $3 million into our Lefroy projects, one of our 2 projects. Behind Premier sits LG Energy Solutions, it's the world's largest battery manufacturer, and LG has a non-binding option to acquire Premier's 30% interest any stage. So significant partnership for Maximus. Next slide, please. So the reason why we're here on site today is because we're drilling the Kandui project. It has a very similar geological setting to Mount Marion, which sits 16 kilometres to the north of here. And it's the same controlling structure as Mount Marion. So initial wide space drill program successfully intersected several spodumene-bearing pegmatites, and the second phase drill program, which has already commenced and why we're on site today, is targeting infill and extension of these spodumene-bearing pegmatites at Kandui. So pretty exciting to be starting that as well. So next slide, please. So today, the company's market valuation, to assume that we have completed the entitlement offer, which is getting completed over the next couple of days, gives the company a valuation of $13 million. So after the entitlement offer, we'll have 428 million on shares on issue. It gives the company EV around $27 an ounce. It doesn't consider the US $3 million joint venture partnership for only 30% of one of our lithium projects, and our genuine lithium and nickel opportunities that we have, or our gold resources. So, our top 20 holds 47%. Beacon Minerals, our largest shareholder, their Geordie project is 80 kilometres to the north of us. So we've got a great base to leverage off. Next slide, please. So in summary, we're a small but dynamic, active explorer across highly prospective geology. Over the last 2.5 years, we've demonstrated commitment to ensuring responsible capital allocation. 82% is invested in the ground. It's resulted in a 300% increase in our gold resources. So we've got a robust gold resource to leverage off, significant growth upside demonstrated by high-grade gold discovery. And we've just about to start our second phase gold-focused exploration program, and also secured a very strategic and powerful partnership with LG and Premier for our lithium. So free kick with our lithium. And in the background, we're focusing on some near-term gold opportunities, which we'll be able to advise the market when we progress some of those. So thank you very much for your time, and please feel free to add us to your watch list.
Thanks, Tim. You glossed over it a little bit, and you didn't say it was important, but moved along pretty briskly. The importance of granted mining tenements and mining leases for projects such as yours, but also from an investor point of view, looking at projects. How important is it having that granted ML?
Very important in Western Australia. I mean, these are pre-native titles, so we don't have royalties other than the state royalties on these. And it really expedites the pathway into production. And what we've been and are focusing on is small scale. So we're coming underneath a small scale mining license under 10 hectares, be able to get us quickly into production. And we're not taking on a significant debt and exposing the company. So these are all very, very fast and quick pathways into production.
Now, talking about the pathway into production, can you just talk about that in terms of the multiple gold resources that you do have and how you see that operating?
So we've got several advanced gold resources, predominantly at our Wattle Dam Gold Project, Larkinville and Hillditch. So all of these projects are all at surface, and they have the ability to be able to start small, an optionality to start small and then grow these, and funding future cutbacks to much larger resources. So as mentioned, we're right up against the national highway. We've got over 8 gold processing plants within 70 kilometres of our resource at the mine gate. So we'll be focusing on starting off the small toll treating parcels, which will fund future resources and leapfrog into much larger projects and fund future exploration programs.
Touching on funding, lithium fully funded, as you mentioned. Can you just reiterate the gold exploration programs?
Yeah, so the entitlement offer, and we really focused on the entitlement offer to include existing shareholders. So the entitlement funding, which is finalised, closed last Wednesday, and shares will be issued in the coming days, is gold focused. So in the coming weeks, once we finish this drill program, so the drillers will finish the lithium program, have a break, and then come back. We'll be focusing on and starting drilling at the Wattle Dam. So restarting second phase at the Wattle Dam gold offset, and then also targeting some shallow resource infill drilling at the Wattle Dam gold project. Subsequent to that, we'll be moving into Hilditch and Larkinville. So both resources, 14 and 20,000 ounces respectively, all start at the surface and a robust grade. So these will be infill drilling, and what we're wanting to do, and the aim is to bring these up into measured and to feed these into development study for toll treating. So they will be the second steps following toll treating process. So we've got several regional gold targets to focus on our exploration, but the focus between now and the end of December, the calendar year this year, is to try and get into some toll treating and toll treating parcel delivered to one of the mills before the end of the year.
Clear focus on getting into production, strong exploration program, well funded, and ready to walk straight out onto the project and get going. Tim, thanks for your time.
Thanks, David.